முதல்ல அதை பற்றின தன் கருத்துரையை முன்வைக்கிறதுக்கு மாண்புமிகு நாகமோகன் தாஸ் அவர்களை நம் சார்பாக அனைவரின் சார்பாக பேசும்படி அழைக்கின்றேன். I request Shri Nagamohan Das to be the first speaker and present about the Constitution and the kind of challenges that have come up before us in this period and how the Constitution is under danger in the current dispensation. Shri Nagamohan Das.
Good evening to everyone. Madam Sudha Sundararaman, Professor R. Murali, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to be in the midst of all of you and in this prestigious institution. For a long time, I heard, I read about Maithili Sivaraman, but I couldn't see her. Through newspapers, through articles, through literature, I came to know about her. As a social activist, human rights activist, as a journalist, as a trade union leader, and as a literary figure, her contribution to the various fields is noteworthy and ever remembering, and we all require to pay our tributes to that great lady, Maithili Sivaraman. I remember one saying Swami Vivekananda said long ago, "They alone live forever who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive." Maithili Sivaraman, throughout her career, lived for others. Therefore, even if she is dead, she is living with us, and not only to this day, for all the years to come, because her contribution is such. But many of us, we live, yet we are dead, because we don't live for others. That is this. Therefore, people who live for others will be always remembered. Maithili Sivaraman is such a tall, towering personality to be remembered generation after generation. Keeping this in mind, I am invited to speak with regard to the Constitution. Morning also, in a All India Lawyers Union forum at the invitation of my friend Elango, a senior advocate in Chennai, I delivered a lecture on Constitution. I don't want to repeat that lecture here, but then I have to say something with regard to the Constitution. In 1947, India became independent. In 1950, by accepting the world's biggest written constitution, India became the world. We have completed 72 years of Republic of India. We are in 73rd year. In these 72 years, under the Indian Constitution, we have made some achievements. I do not subscribe to the argument that nothing is achieved in these 72 years. Yes, I agree with some of my friends who say that we have not achieved what we could have achieved. We could have achieved much more. True, that I agree. But it is not correct to argue that nothing is achieved after. Keeping this in mind, we have to examine what is the present situation in the country today. Nation is facing both problems and challenges. So also, Constitution is also facing problems and challenges. the problems and challenges to the constitution, what is the source for it? The biggest source is way back in 1949, on November 26th, when the final draft constitution was presented to the government of India for its approval. Dr. Ambedkar gave a warning. That warning was, however good a constitution may be, if it is in the hands of bad people, a good constitution is apt to become a bad constitution. Today, our constitution is not in the hands of good people. It is in the hands of bad people. Therefore, our constitution is turning out to be a bad document. That is the biggest challenge today. Therefore, it is our obligation, our historical duty, our constitutional duty to see that the constitution is placed in the hands of good people so that it can be turned out to be a good constitution. That is one of the. Friends, our constitution, no article in the Indian constitution specifies what are its basic features. No article. But the Supreme Court of India, way back in 1973, in Keshavananda Bharati's case, for the first time, propounded a theory called the basic features of the Constitution. They culled out from the Constitution certain basic features. Then they listed it in that judgment. What are the basic features of the Constitution? Thereafter, the Supreme Court in several pronouncements, like S.R. Bommai's case, Minerva Mills case, in this way, Maneka Gandhi's case, in this way, in some of the judgments, they further improved the list of basic features of the Constitution. As of now, the basic features of the Indian Constitution are sovereignty of the nation, supremacy of the Constitution, parliamentary democracy, secularism, social justice, welfare state, fundamental rights, federal system, plural system. Like this, the Supreme Court has listed the basic features of the Constitution. In Keshavananda Bharati's case, the Supreme Court further went to the extent of saying these basic features of the Indian Constitution are untouchable and unamendable. No matter which party comes to the power, what majority they enjoy, they have no right to touch the basic features of the Constitution. They have no right to amend the Constitution. It is therefore, even after 105 amendments to the Indian Constitution in the 72 years, no government could able to change its basic features. But unfortunately, today we are in a stage where they are not changing the Constitution. They are not changing the basic features. They are dysfunctioning. They are making irrelevant the basic features of the Constitution. I can go on narrating one by one for hours and hours together to you that how the present regime is making irrelevant some of the basic features of the Constitution. So, for example, what is meant by sovereignty of the nation? Sovereignty of the nation means capacity of the government to take independent decisions. Capacity of the government to take independent decisions without being influenced by others. Capacity of the government to take decisions without being depending on others. Are we seeing that our governments are taking decisions in this fashion? Transnational companies, multinational companies, national capitals are bringing pressure on government and making them to enact laws. The whole farming community in this country don't want farm laws. They agitated for 1 year. But government has brought foreign laws without debate in the parliament, without consulting the experts, without consulting the agriculture economists, without consulting the farmers. After 1 year, without debate, without telling reasons, they withdrew those farmers. Can you call this as a sovereignty of a nation? No. All this happened at the command of certain multinational companies. Multinational companies want to gain control over the natural resources like land, water, forest, minerals all over the world. As a part of it, the foreign laws come. These foreign laws came at the dictum and command and influence of these companies. But our government yielded. The working class in the country don't want labor legislators. But government of India brought four labor codes. At whose interest? The whole workers in the country don't want that. But you are forcing on us. What is the reason behind? At the command of some inviting foreign companies to India, you are bringing these legislations and reforms in the labor code to facilitate them. You are not making it independent. Do you call this as sovereignty? No. Communal forces, fundamental forces are bringing pressure on the government to enact laws, to take certain decisions. Say, for example, Citizenship Amendment Act. This is an act brought keeping eye on certain religions, to favor certain religion. Any law based on religion is constitutional law? No. Even if it is unconstitutional, you brought that law at the dictum of communal forces and fundamentalist forces. Love jihadi. Certain states have passed bills relating to conversion, cow slaughtering. Again, these bills are passed keeping eye on certain religions. At the instance of communal forces, at the instance of fundamental forces. Do you call this as a sovereignty of a nation? Therefore, we are in a situation where our governments are working against the spirit of constitution. That is, yielding to the pressure of multinational companies, transnational companies and national capitals, fundamentalists and communal forces. This is the second biggest challenge that the country is facing today. Our parliamentary democracy is the basic feature of Indian constitution. Secularism, basic feature of the constitution. Social justice is basic feature of the constitution. Day by day they are weakening it. The composition of Indian parliament, you look at it. 82% of the elected representatives in the present parliament, that is 19th Lok Sabha, are crorpatis. 43% are having the criminal cases against them. If conviction is there, they have to undergo a sentence of either death sentence or life sentence. These are our parliament members. 54% of the parliament members are having hereditary family background, industrial background, real estate background, black marketing background. That is the reason why in parliament today, bills are passed without being debated. In one session, 20 to 23 days that has to function. Without transact 1 minute business, 23 days is wasted. 200 crores of rupees is spent. Have you heard any parliament member refusing that we have not debated, therefore I don't accept the funds? Have you heard anyway? Everyone has withdrawn, but not a single minute they debated for us.